Welcome back to In Business. Today's Bloomberg number for you is 100,000. Google isn't the only website feeling the wrath of the Chinese. In fact, government censors have shuttered more than 100,000 websites in the month of December alone. That's the very same month that Google and several other companies said that they were subject to highly sophisticated cyber attacks. And those attacks, knowledge of them in the public space, all of that leading to Google to consider whether or not to stay active in the Chinese market. We've been talking about this and the implications of it with Adam Segal. He's senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, also an expert here in cyber security. A lot has been made in the public space about this idea that Google is standing up for itself and the clause of don't be evil as a premise for how it does business. But does giving Chinese consumers less access to information, even if it's censored information, actually help the Chinese public?
Well, I think that's the decision that Google made in 2006 when it first decided to go into China.
Right.
And they, as you said, they argued that basically it's better to give Chinese users information to some information as opposed to denying from all of them. But I think what has happened is over the years, China has had so many difficulties dealing with the Chinese government and that this last incident of hacking kind of crossed a line for Google that they felt like they had to stand up and make a statement.
Why make it a public statement, though? Why not keep this in the boardroom, in the C-suite alone? Why go public with it?
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the most remarkable things about this statement is that this is not how you do business in China.
Right.
American companies don't make a public stink about things. They do it quietly. I think because they really believe that they can put some pressure on the Chinese government, not only from the U.S. government and other U.S. companies, but also kind of mobilize Chinese users, Chinese internet users, and say, look, we depend on Google, we like Google, we want Google to stay. I think they're mistaken. I don't think there's very much likelihood at all that the Chinese government is going to back down.
Well, certainly when you make a dispute public, it raises the stakes there in terms of what it would mean to back away from that. Now, Eric Schmidt, the CEO of Google, has also been a presidential advisor in some capacity to the extent that the president seeks advice from the public sector. And on the 21st of January, we're supposed to be hearing from the Secretary of State herself. Now, to what degree is the private sector and the Obama administration working together on this?
I mean, there seems to be some coordination. Reuters yesterday was reporting that the State Department knew of Google's decision before it was made public.
Right.
There are some, close personal connections. Schmidt and other CEOs of tech companies met with Secretary Clinton last week in a private dinner. So clearly there's some coordination, and Secretary Clinton next week I think is going to push for this initiative on internet freedom and broad and free and open access to the internet globally. So there clearly is some kind of talking to each other.
Do you think that this public showdown changes the tenor or the conversation at all between other U.S. manufacturers, corporations who are already alleging that there is manipulation of trade practices by China?
I think it clearly raises the tension, and other companies and other sectors are going to be more willing to complain, perhaps off the record, to the U.S. media. But no one else is in a position as Google is to publicly come out and claim that the Chinese government's business practices are illegal or severely harming them. I think we're going to continue to see more of the same.
All right. We're going to continue to follow it here on Bloomberg. Thank you so much for your insight here, Adam, and for joining me live here on In Business.